Mzansi, welcome to it as the Hollywoodbets brings you Game On. As we look back at the season that was, and well, it's still got one more game to go. And as far as one final cup competition, which we'll discuss with a special guest in the last segment. Well, we're doing something a little different today. We've got both our experts, both our top goal scorers, both our legends sitting alongside me here to start off the show and go through most of the show together. Gents, a pleasure to be in your company. Let's look back at the DSTV Premiership season that was. Firstly, let's start off with the race for the Champions League spots. Stellenbosch Pirates both struggled somewhat going into the last few games of the season. Shane, I'll start with you. And the way it ended, the drama towards the end, because they kept us captivated right till the end.
Yeah, as you know, as we were talking off air the other day, they looked like they didn't want to get there.
Yeah.
No, both teams didn't want to get there, and it was one of those things. Both teams went through a real bad period over the last few games. And Richards Bay, if you look at them, took points off them, off both those teams. So at the end of the day, sanity prevailed. And unfortunately, I have to say, this Pirates got that second position, but what can we say? Every dog has his day.
Yep.
For them, they got the second position. They'll play in the Confederations. I mean, the
Champions League.
Stellenbosch will be in there.
Now let's talk about 3 and 4. In this case, Stellenbosch still qualify for a CAF competition, which is great for them, great for the club, big step forward. And Sekhukhune United, is that a surprise for you? Those positions number 3 and 4. Did you expect that at the start of the season?
Yes, I think if you look at how the whole season went through, and then you look at the biggest upset, where you're talking about a top 8, where the giant is not there. And then now we're discussing a team like Sekhukhune qualifying like for CAF competition. It's a team which nobody would think of that. When you think of CAF competition, obviously you look at the big giants, But I don't know if Pindamzala will just come on that and explain why the other big giant is not there. We're talking about Sekhukhune, but maybe we can leave it for another day. I don't want to mention Chiefs. Gunzim.
This is why I want to ask you, both of you, and your opinion on this is important to me. What does it tell you, the fact that we do have Stellenbosch, Sekhukhune, Cape Town City, Galaxy, SuperSport United, Polokwane City, who were promoted and made top 8? What does it tell you about the competition in the DSTV Premiership? Shane?
For me, it's actually a very good thing, to be very honest with you, because we showing that there is a competitiveness in the league. Gone are the days where there were weaker teams and you knew you would get points off those weaker teams. Now it's a lot stronger. You've got teams that can take points off anyone at any given time. Chiefs were the whipping boys, and I got to agree with Jerry. They were the whipping boys at times. Unfortunately, these things happen. If you take a look at Chiefs and you go from January till the end of the season, if the log was put up on the out there, Chiefs would have ended up being relegated. They had the least amount of points from January onwards. That just says everything about them. So you got to look at that. But Sekhukhune have been a surprise team for me as well. They've punched above their weight and they've got the results. Polokwane, do me a favour, just came up in the top 8. Well, what does that say? They're obviously doing something right. They've got to better that now, and they've got to work on that. For Sekhukhune, they're going to be in African competition. Can they keep up there? Are they going to struggle? Same as Stellenbosch. Can they keep it up? Are they going to struggle? Different story.
But Sizwe, I just want to differ with Shane, because here we're looking at the holistical part of South African football. Followers, supporters, if you call them fans. If a team like Chiefs is not doing well, and then you look at all the teams that are there. Let's look at the game when it's played, Shane. How many supporters come to the games? Because we look at all the giants. The giants are the ones that are keeping the league alive. We need to have them performing better so that we've got a lot of following. With Polokwane City now, we're looking at the top 8. People are only talking about Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. We're missing out at Chiefs, we're missing out at Sundowns, Swallows as well. Because these are the people these are the teams, in fact, that needs to bring people into the stadium. Imagine a fixture. Polokwane City as a position 8 to play Sundowns. At least that would be a balanced game in terms of the following.
Let me ask you a question quickly, both of you now. For those of us that were born, let's say in the 70s for me, in the 40s and 30s for you guys, isn't it maybe the older generation that looks at Chiefs, Pirates? Teams like Bulugwane City, aren't they there to try and win over the new generation, the Skukunes, to win over the new generation and generate support in that way?
Yeah, I suppose,
changing things from the
I
older
suppose
days.
it is. You know, you've got to look at it, and hopefully that'll happen so that they can get their own support. But I mean, I've got to agree with Jerry. This league needs a strong Chiefs because you need the support and you need the crowd in there. So that's what you do need. So they need to get their house in order very quickly. But like you're saying, we want to bring new blood into it. Yeah. So teams like that can do that, and especially from where they operate out of. You want those people to come in and support. So it's a good thing. It's a very good thing. But like I say, and like Jerry says, Chiefs have got to turn things around to bring back their support, and then everything else will grow from there.
Now, I have to ask you about your highlights of the season. We'll start off with you guys are strikers. You guys are legendary strikers for huge clubs, as you do say. Pirates and Stellenbosch chasing Sundowns, but we've got two South African strikers at number 16 with the number of goals and 15. Went down to the wire with them as well. Your thoughts on the two strikers and the progress they've had this season, Mainers and Mabasa?
I think for me, what excites me is the fact that, yes, we've got two South African strikers, because that's been a problem in the years after we left.
Yeah,
you know, there was a lot of foreign players coming on board, like to take on top goal scorers of the season, Busuma, you name them. You know, yes. But now, I was a bit worried when Sundowns were doing better, because Ribeiro was the top goal scorer then. You know, let's give credit to Mabasa what he did in the second round. I mean, he scored a lot of goals.
He only came in the second round, so you've got to look at that. I mean, he scored 11 goals in the second round, and he only started really playing and get goals. Brilliant for him. Reyners, as soon as he went back to Stellenbosch, he got the goals, and I said that he should stay at Stellenbosch because that's where he's going to play. Ribeiro was unlucky, I have to say this. I rate him as a class striker. He had a lot of injuries. He had a lot of time out, so that took away from him. But for me, I mean, it's great that we got two South Africans. Yeah. But what I don't understand is the one that's the leading goal scorer is not in our national team. How do we work that out? How do you? And they're complaining they don't have a goal scorer. Yeah. So how does that work?
Well, some will argue he had a great Kosafa, had a great time at Solos, great time at Pirates, but great second half of the season, most definitely. We've only talked about the top half of the season with these two legendary gentlemen. They come back in the second segment to talk about the second half of the log. Stay with us on Game On.
Check these guys. Let's show them how to do that. I see it. Let's have a
your feet like this.
Let's see how you play.
Move your feet like this.
Welcome back to Game On as we discuss the season that was in as far as the DSTV Premiership, still with my two legends here as we now look at the bottom half of the DSTV Premiership. And the big story, Shane, I'm going to come to you here. This is close to home, close to your heart, is Kaizer Chiefs in easily one of the worst finishes, if not the worst of all time, finishing 10th. Huge surprise, or were you shocked at all, considering as well? Let's talk about this as a goal scorer. 30 games played, 25 goals scored.
Yeah, that's shocking. I mean, it really is shocking when you not scoring a goal a game. I mean, come on. Yeah. You know, at the end of the day, it's not good enough. I was shocked. I thought the players they brought a number of players in. I thought they'll have a fairly decent season, but was proved wrong again. You know, I just blame the whole setup, the way everything has been done, and unfortunately, I said in the beginning of the season they'd appointed the wrong coach right in the beginning of the season. I made the comment straight away.
You've been consistent with that, yeah?
I said that, and it was unfortunately for me it was proven. And then again, I thought they made a big mistake by appointing a temporary coach in Kevin Johnson. They should have taken that, made an appointment of a head coach and given him the rest of the season to work, and then for this season you start in next season off on that note. But now you're starting all over again. So yeah, unfortunately for me, and yeah, I'm going to take
Right.
10th, not good enough. It's the lowest they've finished ever, which is not a good thing. And I hope they've learned the lesson from this, and it goes from strength to strength from now on. We need a big Chiefs we need a good Chiefs in the league, so we get supporters in, and we need all of that to happen. And hopefully it's going to happen very soon. But a disappointing season, and I know Jerry's just waiting. Laughing, you know, for once, maybe twice, Pirates are a little above them. So I think he's quite happy about it.
Fans are also showing their displeasure, Jerry, yeah?
No,
by just their absence.
But Sizwe, I mean, Pindamzala here needs to just take his tears to himself. He mustn't put me on this problem, you know.
Yeah.
But look, I mean, let's look at the second round in terms of Kaizer Chiefs. I mean, if that was just a season on its own, the team would be relegated.
From January, yeah.
From January.
Basically, January
I mean, that was
season.
the worst season ever in terms of the second half of the DSTV Premiership. And now the players of today, yes, in terms of the way they get looked after, it's better than what we used to get. But the way the games are played, I mean, stadiums are empty. That doesn't motivate players, because we need to have good football.
Star quality.
Star quality.
Stars.
All these nicknames, Legs of Thunder, Pindamzala, Trompies, Chilis, Midnight Express, Tiki Tiki Yo, where do they come from? They come from these people that are outside. But if now these quality players that, yes, we do have now, there are no people that gives them the names, how are they gonna continue giving good performances? That's my only worry in that fact.
There might be a worry down in KZN, and I say this because from a footballing point of view, it's one of our favorite destinations, KZN, because they've got 4 teams in the DSTV Premiership, but all 4 are down in the bottom half. AmaZulu, especially when you look at their squad list, would you expect them to be there, Shane?
AmaZulu were very disappointing, as far as I'm concerned. They got a very, very good squad, very disappointing.
And the fan base.
Exactly, you know, so for me, it's, they shouldn't be where they are. Unfortunately, it happened. Arrows, blowing hot and cold, you never know what team you're going to play against them. The one thing about Richards Bay, and they're going to go into the playoffs, they're going in there full of confidence, because if you look at what they've done, they've beaten Pirates, they've beaten Stellenbosch, so full of confidence, which is a good thing for them. But the rest of them, you know, it's a bad season for AmaZulu. So once again, you've got to look at that and say, we need a big AmaZulu as well. Remember years ago, I mean, I remember going to AmaZulu with fans like you can't believe.
Huge fixture that back in the day.
Scared. I mean, I'm talking about the days I was at Rangers, not even at Chiefs. You were scared to go there because of the fans. But now where are all the fans gone? Because they're not playing quality football.
And that comes back, you used to play at Clip Stadium.
Clip
Remember
Stadium,
the old airport? I mean, just across the N2.
Yes.
You know, you just go to Clip Stadium. Yes,
Scary.
it was
Scary.
scaring to get there because you know what to expect. You know, this is something that we're missing, and I'm more like AmaZulu, but hey, Usud. I said Usud. We don't want that. We want that big voice, you know, that confidence. We're missing that. You know, that's our football before.
Exactly. Those are
We
Bloemfontein
need to go
Celtic.
back to
Yes.
Celtic,
You know,
Bloemfontein
so like that.
Celtics.
We
Yes.
missed that.
Oh, we missed
but
that.
now, you guys have mentioned 3 clubs, or 2 clubs rather. 3 actually you've mentioned. Swallows, AmaZulu, Chiefs. I have to talk about Swallows. There's a point this season when it looked as though they might not make it through to the end of the campaign to partake in the DSTV Premiership last season. But here they are, battling with Wayham and Richards Bay right till the end of the season. What did you think of Swallows and their campaign?
Shocking.
Financial problems, yes. but
They had their problems. They got out of it very well at the end. I mean, they got rid of a lot of players in December. Survived, that was the main thing. Let's hope they can build from there. But Swallows, it's the same thing every year. We're going to do this and nothing happens. They need to learn from this and take it forward, as do Chiefs.
There you have it. There'll be a lot of clubs that'll be looking to improve. Come next season, there'll be other clubs that'll look to build on the work they've done this season. And for those that met their ambitions, we say congratulations. And also, thank you very much to both our legends sitting alongside me. And we come back with something a little bit special as we discuss the Netbank Cup, including Jerry's team of the season, club of the season, in the next segment. Welcome back to Game On, and as we promised, time to now bring a, guest who's actually part of the extended family to Game On. That, of course, is my good friend and longtime colleague, Velile. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us, Velile. Let's talk all things Netbank Cup. Highly anticipated games, arguably two of the best teams in the year 2024 alone. But firstly, the venue. Mabela Stadium, Nelspruit, your expectations there?
You know, Sizwe, thanks for the opportunity to be here. Game On. It is on indeed.
Certainly this weekend, yeah?
Definitely.
Sure.
Look, I remember having this interview with the Premier, Panyaza Losofi, and he was talking about the nitty-gritties of bidding and how they lost out and how he would like Gauteng to always have these cup finals. And deep down I was like, thanks God.
I think a lot of people in Gauteng are like, thank
because
goodness.
You know what, in as much as we've been to Moses Mabhida and also here in Gauteng, I think that for the economy of football and for the ecosystem of football in the country, it's important that all these World Cup venues are fully utilized. And I think it's been a while since we've been to Mbombela Stadium. You know of the vibe.
Yeah.
But maybe let's move away from the precinct. Let's just talk about the impact this has on the economy in that particular city. The vibe that's just there. A day before the game, on the day of the game, and after that. I was in East London recently, Chippa United playing against Kaizer Chiefs.
Yes.
I mean, the city, a day before,
Comes
even
alive.
a day later.
Yeah.
And it was sweeter that Chippa United won.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk these two teams. I mentioned earlier, arguably the two most exciting teams just in the year 2024 alone, but also scoring goals. Paris seems to have found their best form in 2024, barring the last couple of weeks. It's maybe a fan's dream, this particular game, to end the season.
They started the season, MTN 8, final. I just hope this time around it's Sundowns. I'm fans because the last time they were just a line.
Yeah.
You know. So now with the tickets sold out very early, you anticipate something different later today. You know. But I think also when I look at this Orlando Pirates team, there's a lot of hunger, and also if you look. Just look. Don't look on the point difference between the two teams. Look at the cup matches, especially the last 3 cup matches between the two teams. Paris have had an upper hand. I remember the other season they even eliminated them. Yeah, for summer coaching changes, the Sundowns.
Yes.
So things have been different in that space. One can say that maybe Paris Sundowns was more dominant in the MTN 8 Cup final, but Paris also defended better. You know, defensively they did better, and they went on to win on penalties. And when you also look in the league matches as well, yes, Sundowns has won 1 game between the two teams, but the margins have been, you know, as compared to the other teams. So I think this is a game that has got everything. But I think for me, there's an element of hunger from Sundowns as well. That loss from Cape Town City is Sundowns Ikelemile this time around. And look. Yeah, Maz.
Well, many would say to Sundowns lose at the wrong time, and the fact that they're not crowned the Invincibles, what effect will it have on the team? But others will argue, which when Sundowns lost out in the Champions League semi-final, that would have hurt them as well. But the way they responded to that was incredible. So they do have that bounce-back ability, so to speak.
No, definitely. And I think also there's a Tebogo Mokoena factor. Him not being available for those last matches of the season, especially in the Champions League. I mean, I was looking at Esperance, with all due respect. A Sundowns Al Ali final would have slept better You know, so you know, so but having Mkwana back this time around, and I think there is that thing. They might not have won or went far in the Champions League, but they still have an opportunity for a travel. Remember, they've got the AFL,
that's
they've got the league title.
itself, yes.
So earlier this week we went to the media open days, and one of the things Newa Mawema was talking about, the importance of finishing the season with a big bang and a treble, that rhymes.
Now, that is the big question, and thank you so much to Uvenile Mnyandu for breaking down the Netbank Cup final as we preview it and look forward to quite a game to end off the season. What a season it has been. And we're looking for the big bang at the end of the season. It's the big click, click, bang at the end of the season. So, we have been talking about, over the last week, Jay Skosana naming his team of the season and asking you at home to guess what his club side is of the season. So let's find out from Jay Skosana, of course, who's your club side of the season and why, Legs of Thunder?
Yeah, I think I'm a team number now. It's only 3 teams, to be honest, because in my head, I hate the Sundowns, Ngavanis, Orlando Pirates, Stellenbosch. But the team I choose, I think in these 3, Ngamba is Stellenbosch. Isizathu, I think it's the way ubuki Sundowns, quality nayo. It's one thing that you expect which is a and then Orlando Pirates. Now inabadlala abaningi abagadla kahle, but obviously Stellenbosch are star players.
Yes.
But look at the impact abayenzi. So for me, my team of the season, Stellenbosch.
There you have it. Hollywoodbets ambassador Jay Skosana saying his team, club side of the season is Stellenbosch. Keep in mind, he'll be back next week, naming his starting 11 of the season, another competition for you to win through Hollywoodbets. And in talking about Hollywoodbets giving back, let's find out how they gave back to Toti FC out in KZN.
Hutchison Park in Amanzim Toti, south of Durban, is home to Toti United Football Club. This community-run club has more than 150 children in their charge. Hollywood Foundation recently sponsored 10 full kits and a range of training equipment to this well-run and deserving club.
We are so happy here to receive this sponsorship from Hollywood Foundation. It's going to go a long way in helping our kids, in equipping themselves during the training and also during the matches. We have over 150 kids registered this year, so it's quite a lot of task for us, so we are very grateful with this support we're receiving.
We are quite elated to be here. The kids were excited. I think we are going to make a significant impact towards contributing to grassroots football, which is the main objective of Hollywood Foundation. So I'm very, very excited. We came here, donated 10 soccer kits, 50 soccer balls and 200 mini soccer balls. So this is going to make a huge impact to these kids.
As an added treat, Hollywood Foundation arranged for former Kaizer Chiefs and Bafana Bafana superstar striker Sthembiso Ngcobo to address the kids on the day.
Ngicabanga ukuthi uxhaso olunjengana lolu lubaluleke kakhulu einganeni thina sadlala bese mayitholi yonke lento and abanye abantwana njengamanje bayakwazi ukudlala nge-training kit manje ayisekho lento ukuthi kudlalwe ngebhola elilodwa izingane ziyakwazi ukwenza ama-sessions amaningi ahlukahlukene and ngibonile ama-training equipment like ama-corner flags and amabhola.
It was an exciting and fun day for the children in the club, who were all grateful and eager to try out their swanky new gear.
I am excited for the sponsorship from Hollywood Foundation because they gave us fresh kits and they gave us a new adventure to discover, and every other player is also excited.
It isn't just the club and the children who benefit from the sponsorship from Hollywood Foundation. Parents had their own reasons to be excited about the generous offering.
We are very excited as a Toti United parent. This is such a huge benefit to our kids. They get to communicate with other kids. It's where they enjoy their childhood. And thanks a lot to Hollywood Foundation for the kids and the balls. So now we don't have to wash the kids now and then. They have plenty of kids.
Before we go, let's firstly thank Thanks, Shane McGregor. Not forgetting Velile as well. You at home for joining us. And we sign out the best way we know how here on Game On. Click, click, bang.